Good Wednesday evening, everyone. Welcome back to Weather for Weather Geeks, our online in-depth weather video. You know, when the weather's interesting, these videos can sometimes run 9 or 10 minutes when we have a lot to talk about, a lot of detail to get through, but, well, frankly, this is kind of a benign weather pattern, but we still try to find some cool things to show you. I was out live at the Canfield Fair at 6. I can tell you it was really hot, but we just had enough clouds and enough of a breeze that it was tolerable. May not be so lucky during the coming days. Here's a live look at 7:55 this evening in Boardman on our weather camera, facing towards the Canfield area. The sun set just a little bit ago, and left with some haze this evening and lots of warm air, that is for sure. Here's a look at the temperatures as we head towards the 8 o'clock hour. We've dropped back into the 70s after reaching 88 earlier on today. We had 89 yesterday, 88 today. So the temperatures look like that. The dew points, that's what really makes this pretty bad. Dew points across eastern Ohio, western PA are up in the upper 60s and lower 70s. So heat index values this afternoon made it into the middle 90s. Real quick look at the radar over the last few hours. Again, most of you will be watching this well after. This is valid, but we did have a couple of cells that dropped some downpours around Hubbard, up towards Vienna. Even near the Canfield Fair, we had a brief shower, not at the fairgrounds, but not far to the south. Earlier on, but these are fading away and we should be dry from here on out. Interestingly, a severe thunderstorm warning with this cluster out here towards Marion, Ohio, dropping south towards the northern suburbs of Columbus. Taking a quick look at the rest of the country this evening, look at all the heat across the middle of the country. This is a big heat dome. Look at the upper levels here. Underneath that heat dome, where you see this bulge popping up like this, that's where you have some real July-like heat. Big trough crashing into the western U.S., and yes, they're going to get the first snow of the season up here in the Canadian Rockies in parts of, British Columbia and Alberta. Several inches of snow over the next couple of days. So kind of October-like in the northwest, but the rest of the country is just baking. All right, let's talk about tomorrow's rain chances, because much like today, they're going to be pretty small. Want to quickly show you tomorrow afternoon. A weak little disturbance, and actually this is kind of a backdoor cold front approaching from the north. Our backdoor front kind of like this. We call this a backdoor front because it tends to drop in from the north. Usually these come out of eastern Canada and drop down along the eastern seaboard instead of sweeping in from the west like this. So that's why it's called a backdoor front. This is going to have very minimal impacts on our area, but it might be just enough to pop an isolated shower or storm. The NAM isn't showing anything here at 3 in the afternoon tomorrow. Here's 5 p.m. Starting to see a couple of specks here, but much like today, the coverage is going to be very small. Most of us will not see any rain during the day tomorrow, and I think the same holds true for Friday. Here's a look at Friday afternoon. The NAM would suggest maybe there's a few showers and storms in western Ohio, but we should be dry here. Now, as far as temperatures, what you see is what you get through the end of the weekend. We're going to be between 87 and 90, perhaps even 91 right through Labor Day, with plenty of humidity as well. So if you're heading to the fair or doing anything else outdoors, be ready for some of the most sustained, consistent heat that we've had all summer long. How long is this going to last? All right, let's take a look upstairs in the atmosphere here. This is at the 5,000 foot level, showing temperature anomalies, difference from average. And 5,000 feet isn't very high, so usually these temperature anomalies translate down to the ground as well. If it's warmer than average up here at 5,000 feet, chances are very good it's warmer than average down at the ground. So let's take a look at the pattern through Sunday. As you can see here, very chilly in the west, and here's our anomalously warm air in the eastern two-thirds of the country. We've been talking about how this lasts through Labor Day. Here's next Wednesday, a week from today. This is when a front is going to be kind of just meandering and stalling across the east. It's going to stay warm on the east coast, and here's the cool air mass trying to come south and east. Boy, it's going to have a hard time, though. I think the heat is going to be trimmed during the middle of next week, and by trimmed, I mean I think we get back to average. Maybe even a little above average, still behind the front. So we're looking highs probably in the upper 70s to lower 80s starting next Wednesday, perhaps taking us through the end of next week. Here's next Friday morning, showing the center of the cool air across the northern plains, and we've just kind of cooled back to average here across eastern Ohio and western PA. In the real long range, as we get out towards the middle of September, last night I was thinking that we were going to look at another warm-up around the 15th. Today's models are starting to advertise the opposite, showing the cool air kind of just lollygagging around the Midwest and warming up in the West. If this is the case, then it'll feel a little more autumnal, if you will, around mid-month. But one thing for sure, looks darn hot through at least Labor Day and probably right through Tuesday. That's the Wednesday evening weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for watching, everyone. Look forward to seeing you tonight on 21 News at 11. Hopefully, we don't have the technical difficulties that we had at 6 o'clock. It's live TV. Stuff happens sometimes. So have a great evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow evening for more geeky stuff.